He looks to become the interim heavyweight champion this Saturday at UFC 295, facing Sergey Pavlovich. Now, I've heard you say you think Sergey Pavlovich is the most dangerous man in the UFC. Well, you're favored against the most dangerous man in the UFC. So what does that say about you?
Says I'm pretty dangerous. No, I didn't know that I was favourite. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, to be honest. I've made a conscious effort this fight to not read any comments, to not look at anything like that. It's all irrelevant. It's all outside noise, and it's stuff that I don't need. I'm aware of what a guy Pavlovich is. I'm aware of his skill set, what he brings to the table. I'm also aware of what I bring to the table, and I'm just focusing on that as opposed to anything else.
So what has been your focus since you found out about this fight? Because I imagine going back and watching Sergey Pavlovich tape is probably not the most productive thing one can do. You know what this guy brings to the table, but what have you mostly been focusing on in order to prepare for this mentally?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been watching tape. I think people who don't watch tape are just silly, because if it can give you like a 1% advantage, why would you not do it? But I never understand when people are like, "Oh, I don't watch tape." Why? It's there for you to, to pick ways you can win. Why not? But yeah, I mean, I've just been doing the what I can in the 2.5 weeks that I had. I have been, trying to get my visa, which was difficult on short notice, but I managed to do it, obviously. Been preparing for a fight in the week notice that I had training before I had to leave. And yeah, just doing that, just doing what I can.
The explanation I've heard from people about why they don't watch tape, especially with a fighter like a Sergey Pavlovich, is you see somebody with that kind of power and that kind of devastation, it can start to mess with your head. That's something that doesn't affect you at all?
Well, you got to know what you're up against. You know what I mean? I wouldn't like it to be a surprise when I'm in there. I want to know that I'm fighting the scariest guy, and the fear helps me as well. There's no courage without fear. Do you know what I mean? And I'm there to conquer that. That's part of the reason why I love this sport, is because I'm scared every single time, and I want to go and overcome that.
Now, of course, the macro of what people got wrong against Sergey Pavlovich during this win streak of his is they got caught. But if
Yep.
you break that down into the micro, what did they do wrong? What are the things that you believe his opponents could have done otherwise to not be put in that situation to get hit with that big, the big power of Pavlovich?
It's not so much that they've done something wrong. I think that a lot of heavyweights don't have the capabilities and the brain power that I've got. I think that their ego takes over a lot of the time, and I think that a lot of heavyweights don't. Yeah, they just don't have the intelligence to be able to get out of the way of the shots, and they don't have the reflexes to be able to get out of the way of the shots. And yeah, they just stand their feet and try and let their ego take over and have a brawl with him, which is not what you want to be doing with a guy with that much power. So I'm going to try and avoid doing that at all costs.
The heavyweight division seemed like it was going to start getting jammed up with Stipe and Jones facing each other, or at least scheduled to face each other on this card, with Pavlovich being the man in waiting. How relieved are you that, given that you had such a bad injury last year, that you've been able to get to this position so quickly?
Yeah, I was getting to a point, to be honest, where I was a little bit frustrated before I got this fight, because I was training, my body was healthy and stuff, but I didn't really have a goal and anything to go towards. And I'm happy that I could get another fight in before the end of the year, to be honest, because I didn't want to wait till next summer, something like that. Like, I didn't want to leave it a lot more time, because, like I say, I just had a year off being injured, and now I'm back. My body's healthy, everything's good. So yeah, stick me in there.
Now, I'm sure you're laser focused on the task at hand, but John Jones, his injury is likely going to preclude him from fighting again until next July. Do you believe that the winner of this fight on Saturday will end up potentially even defending the interim championship in order to not have to wait until the end of next year before getting the opportunity to maybe fight the winner of Jones and Miocic, because we don't really know if they're going to be sticking around either way?
As you said, I'm kind of laser focused on what I'm doing right now. I think to look past that would be pretty silly. I'm not really interested in what's going to happen in the future right now. I'm thinking about Saturday night, and that's it.
And what do you think you do better than Sergey Pavlovich? Like, obviously, he's got that big power, and he's got solid wrestling defense that we have seen in the past. But what are the things that you can definitively say you do better than him?
I think I'm faster than him, for sure. I think I'm faster than every other heavyweight on the roster, though that's nothing new for me. I think I mix up my attacks really well. I think the main thing is that you can't prepare for me, and I'm not bothered what anybody thinks they can prepare for and what kind of guys they've got in the gym or whatever. There's not a heavyweight alive that moves like I move. It's simple as that. You can't prepare for someone like my size, 6'5", 260, 265, who moves the way I move. I'm one of a kind, and it's physically impossible to prepare for that. So that's the biggest advantage that I've got over every opponent, really.
I heard you say in an interview, I think it was with Adam Catterall, that you're feeling very relaxed this week, very calm, which is unlike a lot of your other fights. Do you think that's an advantage for you, or do you feel like it almost feels like you're not fighting on Saturday because you've had to adjust so quickly to what's going on?
I am relaxed and calm, but I always feel kind of like this. But it's building. It's definitely building. The closer it gets, I can feel the tension building up a little bit, and I'm sure I'll be nervous as hell on Saturday. So that's the way it is. That's the way it goes. It's part of the reason I love the sport, so I can overcome that. I get to test my ego and check where I'm at mentally on a regular basis, which is one of my favourite things about this sport. So I feel relaxed right now, but who knows how I'm going to feel on Saturday.
I imagine when you look out the window and you see the lights and Times Square and all of that, it probably doesn't make it any easier to ignore what's going to be happening on Saturday. It has a real big feel, obviously, being at Madison Square Garden.
Of course, yeah. And they very kindly stuck us right in the middle of Times Square in the Fighters Hotel. So, yeah, absolutely no escaping it. There's a lot of fans building up now as well. So, yeah, it's 24 hours a day I'm thinking about this fight, and there's no time away from it. So, but that's normal. That's normal. I know how to deal with it now. I'm a bit of a veteran in the sport. This is my 4th main event. So, I'm not even fighting for a main event. I've already done 3 main events though, which are a big deal, especially in London and being a UK guy and stuff. So, I know what it is to feel the pressure, mate, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, you've had to fight in front of thousands of people that have come from your city, if I'm not mistaken. At least hundreds of people that have come from your city to watch you fight. So, it being on another continent probably doesn't have as much pressure as knowing how many people are relying on you at an event where they've all come in and spent their hard-earned money. I know a lot of people have come in for this event where the tickets are priced pretty astronomically. So it's nice to have that sort of support, I imagine.
Yeah, that is nice. I got people coming in today, tomorrow, Friday, obviously Saturday. People that have flown across the world on like a week's notice is absolutely insane to watch me. I met a couple of fans last night who have come over to watch me as well. These are not people I know. These are just UK fans who have flown over, and it still blows my mind that people want to do that. I appreciate it so much.
And finally, you've sparred many rounds in the gym with Tyson Fury in terms of boxing. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the boxing match that he had with Francis Ngannou, because going into that, I always said, you know what, you're not going to see Francis Ngannou outbox Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a wizard when it comes to boxing, but it's heavyweights. And you've said this with this particular matchup against Pavlovich, anything can happen at heavyweight. You guys have the shortest average fight time among active UFC fighters right now. You're number 1, he's number 2. Anything can happen. I thought that's what made that boxing match so intriguing. And then, of course, it ended up playing out the way that it did. And I'm curious what your thoughts were on it.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. I'm still shocked. So now it's nearly been 2 weeks since the fight. I don't know how Ngannou managed to do that. Tyson is an absolutely unbelievable boxer. I don't know if Tyson had a bad night or Ngannou had an amazing night, or maybe a combination of both. But yeah, incredible performance by Francis Ngannou. Congratulations to him. He did absolutely amazing. He should be really proud of himself.
What do you reckon it was? If you had to guess what circumstances led to that particular outcome, obviously Tyson gets the split decision, but it's a split decision against Francis Ngannou. I just love to hear what your takeaway is from that particular match.
I don't know, because I know firsthand that he trained really hard for the fight. He didn't cut any corners in the training, and I spoke to one of his coaches after, and he said that everything was good. I don't know if he just had an off night, or I don't know, because I don't want to say that, because I don't want to take away from Ngannou and what he did. He believed in himself from way before. Me personally, I wasn't interested in that fight, really. I was like, I want to see Usyk and Fury. That's the fight that I want to see. Now, I don't even really care about Usyk and Fury. I want to see Francis and Tyson too. That's what I want to see. That's the fight that I'm interested in, the rematch. And I don't know. I don't know what I'd testimony to, but congratulations to Francis Ngannou for what he did. It was incredible.
Did you watch it live?
I watched it live, yeah. I watched it live. Oh, I wasn't there. I watched it at home, but I wasn't in Saudi Arabia, obviously, but I watched it live, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant, if you watched it in real time. So was part of you cheering for the MMA guy a little bit? I mean, I know Tyson's your friend, but was a little bit of you like, is this man actually going to do this?
No, I'm definitely loyal to my friends. Tyson Fury and the whole Fury family have been friends of my families for many years now. Um, but it also, on the other hand, it is nice to get the respect of the boxing community as an MMA fighter. I feel like they look down on us a lot. They think that we can't box. We have no chance against a boxer, etc. Well, look what Francis has gone and done against, in my opinion, one of the best heavyweights of all time in Tyson Fury. So, absolute credit to Francis Ngannou. Like, he should, as I just said, he should be really, him and his team should be really proud of themselves.
Well, Tom, I really appreciate your time. It's the co-main event on Saturday. Yourself, Sergey Pavlovich, like you've mentioned, and like I mentioned during this interview, the two fighters with the shortest finishing time in UFC history in terms of active fighters. So really looking forward to seeing what ends up happening on Saturday. Thanks so much for your time.